Hi, I'm Jim, and this is Call to Battle. Today, so I want to talk on, are we unrealistic? Do we set unrealistic things for ourselves and maybe our children? And are we passive, hoping things will magically happen? I look at a lot of the youth today, and it seems like they think they're all going to be millionaires by the time they're 18, and that everything should come their way. And I was watching this podcast. I can't remember the person, but I started chuckling. He said, I think we start messing up, especially with our daughters, when we start calling our daughters princess. And I'm like, okay, where's he going with this one? He said, no. He said, they grow up hearing that they're princess when they're little, then they're 10, they're 15, they're 20 years old. We're calling them princess. He said, princess isn't the career. You're not going to be a princess. But yet they think they are. They're going to get everything they want. He says, it's just not realistic. My wife is a senior vice president of global technology, and she has this wonderful poster. Well, it's nicer than a poster. I'll call it a poster. It sits behind her desk, and she does a lot of video conferences, and she has it set up like if I have stuff behind me, and you can see it behind her when she's at these conferences. And what it says, her poster says, in a world of princesses, be an engineer. My wife has a degree in mathematics and mechanical engineering. She's a brilliant woman. You have a better chance of being an engineer than a princess. I mean, you have a 0.0001% of being a princess, but you can be an engineer. But it's hard work, but it can be done. But do we set up these unrealistic things that every kid's going to be a great athlete? I mean, I compete in sports. Sports meant a lot to me. But we set up these unrealistic things, which I think gives us an attitude of being upset when things don't go our way. Charles Barkley talked about this. I really like what he has to say. He was sort of comparing the white school and the black school, but students. But I think it speaks to all of us, and I like what he had to say, and I think it can relate to all of us. Now, let's see what he says.
Like, let's say I'm at a white school. I said, how many of your kids want to play pro sports? Less than 10% raised their hand. I said, what do you want to do? I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be an engineer. But when I go speak at predominantly black schools, 90% of the kids want to play sports. 90%. There's a couple like, I want to be a doctor, which makes me really proud. But 90% of kids, when I speak at black schools, our kids are brainwashed to think they can only play sports and be entertainers. You got a better chance of being a doctor and a lawyer than playing in the NBA. I tell you, that's 400 players in the NBA. What are the chances you're going to be one of the 400 best players in the world? Like I say, and I'm not trying to bash their dreams. I wish everybody could do it. But you have to also be realistic. Like, let's say I'm at a white.
I think that goes for actually a lot of us, with the idea that, we're going to be able to do this stuff. We tell people you can be anything you want. No. And, you're not supposed to say that. No, we have to be realistic. I was a distance runner in high school and in college. I ran D3. I was good enough to get a scholarship. Well, you don't get a sports scholarship in D3. I got a leadership scholarship. That always weighs around the rules there. But, I was able to do well there. But someone said to me, if I said, no one, I can be anything I want. I can be a 100-meter runner. I can be a world-class gold medalist 100-meter runner. No, I can't. I don't have the ability. I don't have the fast twitch muscles in my calves, my legs. I was not built to be a sprinter. I'm a distance runner. Matter of fact, I like being a miler in college. They changed me to 5,000 meters, 3.1 miles. Man, that was a drag. To have to also on the indoor track, you're doing 25 laps. But that's what I was. I was a very good 5K runner. I wasn't a sprinter, and I could have trained all I want to be a sprinter. It wasn't going to happen. My body was not designed to be a sprinter. We have to know who we are. We have to know how we're made, how we're designed to do stuff. My wife's an engineer. I couldn't be an engineer. I stink at math. I mean, once they stopped using numbers and start using letters, I was lost. Math wasn't my thing. Now, I could have studied like crazy, but it would have been incredibly difficult that I don't know if I could have passed with it, because I just could not grab onto these concepts. I mean, I barely passed geometry. But we say anything you want, but reality is no. But you can be who God designed you to be. You can become that and be excellent at it. But no, we're not being realistic of people achieving that which God designed them to be. And it's sad. You need a backup plan. I mean, I'll never forget my high school track coach. He told me it was my senior year. We were a few weeks away from graduating. Track season was over. And I was walking by his classroom. He called me in. He said, Jim, how you feeling about college? I said, well, I'm a little nervous. I hope I can run at the next level. And I said, I hope I can pass college. And I'll never forget him telling me, he says, Jim, do you think I was training you to be a runner, a distance runner these last 4 years? And actually, I worked with him for 6 years because seventh grade, I started working out with the high school team. And I said, well, yeah, I think you're training me a distance runner. He says, no. He said, Jim, to be a good distance runner, because which you are, he said, it takes commitment, it takes dedication, it takes hard work, it takes a strong work ethic, perseverance, because a good runner, distance runner, has to work all year round, not just during track and cross country. You have to do it all year round. So you're running in the rain, in the snow, in the sleet, in the heat. While in summertime, your friends are going to a pool and you're out running. He said, you know how to do all this. You know how to do hard work. You know there is an instant gratification. That to achieve what you have achieved, you knew it was going to take a lot of work and hard, and step by step by step, you were going to get there. And that's what it took. And we're not being taught that. We're not being taught hard work ethics, work ethics and dedication. Oh, you want to be a millionaire? It's just going to happen. And one of my favorite definitions of a man is, first part of it is a man rejects passivity. You want to do well in life. You want to be a good husband, a good father, a good wife, a good mother. But I'm talking about men. A good husband, a good father. You got to reject passivity. That means you do not sit on the sideline thinking things are magically going to happen. Somehow magically you're going to get the job you've always wanted. You're going to magically get the career you always wanted. Or magically your marriage is going to be fantastic. Or magically you're going to be a great father. It doesn't happen that way. It happens through work. It happens through, the number of conferences my wife and I went to for marriage conferences and parenting, we wanted to work at being good parents. And I wanted to be working at being a good husband. It takes work. And it's worth it. The reward is worth the work. The success is worth the work. But a person who is passive misses out. They're usually a person who's always whining, complaining how unfair everything is, how unfair life is, how unfair people are. As I say, who in the world said life is fair? I heard a definition years ago of fair. Someone said fair is a place where pigs win ribbons and you get cotton candy. A fair. In fact, my wife and I found this decorations. It's a few books put together, and on the binder of the book it read, a fair is where you buy cotton candy. We bought those books, and we use it as decoration in our house, because I've loved that saying. Who says life is fair? Matter of fact, as a Christian, I thank God that he's not fair. If God was fair, we'd all go to hell. If God was fair, he would treat us as we deserve to be treated, instead of treating us as we do not deserve to be treated. Now, that's the definition of grace. Not being treated as you deserve to be treated. But when you're passive, you expect things to just happen. You whine, you complain when bad things happen. When you're not passive, when you work at making things happen, you understand bad things are going to happen, and you work your way through it. You keep going, you keep pushing, you keep persevering. This is what needs to be taught to our kids. Perseverance, pushing through. You have a goal, a dream, a vision, that's great. Run after it, but it's not just going to happen. Also, make it a realistic vision, that you're going to have. I want to be Superman, literally Superman, not going to happen. But I want to be a doctor, achievable. I want to be a lawyer, achievable. I want to start my own business, achievable. I think one of the best ways to get a great work ethic is what God told us in the Bible. Work as if you work for him. Not for that paycheck, not for your boss. You work as you're working for God. If we do anything for God, we're going to do it with excellence. Now, God says to love the Lord with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. You have that attitude, you're going to be excellent. But we have to be realistic. Set goals. No, run after them. But if you're going to be passive, if you're going to expect things to just happen, you're just going to be disappointed. Men, we're designed to lead. And there's no greater way of leading. To start it with, I'm not going to be passive. I'm not going to be one who's sitting on the sidelines. I'm going after this. I'm going to make it happen. Okay, that's what I have for you this week. Hope you have a great week. I will talk to you soon. God bless.